He claimed he was going to the movies alone. I bought a ticket too. Sat 4 rows behind them. He didn't notice. But she did. I smiled. She tapped his shoulder. It was a cloudy Saturday in Seattle. The kind where the sky stays gray all day and the air feels heavy. My husband, Mark, told me he was going to see a movie alone. He mentioned the new action film playing at the AMC Pacific Place downtown. Which one? I asked. That new action flick, he replied, avoiding eye contact. Something felt off. Mark rarely went to the movies alone, and he was dressed a bit too nicely for a solo outing. After he left, I sat there, staring into my coffee. The nagging feeling wouldn't go away. So, I decided to follow him. I arrived at the theater and bought a ticket for the same movie. The auditorium was dimly lit, and I scanned the rows. There he was, 4 rows ahead, sitting with a woman. They were sharing popcorn, laughing, and their hands occasionally touched. My heart sank. I felt a mix of anger, betrayal, and sadness. But I didn't confront them. Not yet. After the movie ended, I followed them out. They walked to a nearby cafe and sat at a corner table. I entered, ordered a coffee, and sat where I could watch them. After about 15 minutes, I approached their table. Mind if I join you? I asked, forcing a smile. Mark turned pale. The woman looked confused. Who are you? She asked. I'm his wife, I replied. The woman's eyes widened, and she stood up abruptly. I had no idea, she said, grabbing her purse and leaving. Mark sat there, speechless. We drove home in silence. That night, we had a long, painful conversation. He admitted to the affair, said it was a mistake, and begged for forgiveness. I told him I needed time. Trust, once broken, isn't easily repaired. Over the next few months, we attended counseling. It was hard, but we both wanted to make it work. Slowly, we rebuilt our relationship. I learned to forgive, and he learned to be honest. We started going to the movies together again, holding hands like we used to. It wasn't easy, but love rarely is. I didn't sleep that night. While he lay next to me pretending to rest, I stared at the ceiling wondering how long it had been going on. He said it was the first time. That it just happened. But people don't just slip into movie dates. I knew there was more. I waited 2 weeks before I checked his phone. I don't feel bad about it. I gave him space. I gave him a chance. But the late-night texting continued, and he'd started guarding his phone again. Like before. It was a Tuesday when I saw the name, Sasha. Not saved under a fake name. Not hidden. Just there. Bold. Like I wouldn't dare look. Their conversation didn't look like the affair had ended. He told her he missed her. That he still thought about her every night. That seeing me cry that day made him feel sick, but he still didn't regret meeting her. He even joked about me buying a movie ticket. Said it was almost funny that I followed them. She replied, she looked too calm. That scared me more than if she'd slapped me. I saved every message. Took screenshots. Sent them to my email. Printed them out. I wanted to see it all laid out, black and white, no confusion. I didn't confront him right away. I wanted him to think everything was fine. I kissed him in the mornings. I packed his lunch. I laughed at his dumb jokes. I let him think he was in control again. But inside, I was planning. I reached out to Sasha. Through a fake account. Said I was someone else, someone interested in helping her. I made up a story about a support group for women unknowingly involved in relationships with married men. I told her I was putting together a story to expose emotional manipulators. She was curious. I told her I'd protect her identity. She agreed to talk. She told me everything. How they met at his job. How he said we were technically separated. How he even brought her to a family barbecue, told everyone she was a coworker. My stomach turned. My cousin met her. My friends saw her. And no one said a word. She sent me pictures. Her and Mark at Pike Place Market. Her and Mark at his office. Her sitting on the couch I picked out. Wearing a hoodie that belonged to me. I wanted to throw up. Still, I played it cool. I bought a second phone. Burned his trust while smiling in his face. Booked appointments with a divorce lawyer during my lunch breaks. Found a storage unit and slowly moved out the valuables he wouldn't notice were missing, one box at a time. He never questioned me. Then I found the account. A secret one, under a fake name. Hidden funds. Thousands of dollars transferred slowly over time. I printed it all out. Brought it to the lawyer. He told me not to say a word yet. That we had to be careful. That if I played this right, I could walk away with more than just my dignity. So I kept smiling. He thought everything was fine. Until it wasn't. One night, he came home with takeout. Set it on the counter and looked nervous. I watched him from the hallway. He didn't know I was there. He was pacing. Checking his phone. He looked guilty. He called her. Said, "I can't keep this up. She's being too nice. It's freaking me out. I think she knows." I stepped into the room, calm as ever. He jumped. "Who knows?" I asked. He fumbled with his phone. "No one. Work stuff." I nodded. "You're right. I do know." His face went blank. I walked over, placed a folder on the counter. Opened it. Pages and pages of screenshots. Bank statements. Sasha's messages. Even the pictures. He said nothing. Just stared like I'd pulled a gun. Then I smiled. The same way I did in the theater. "I'm done pretending," I said. "And you're done lying." But I wasn't done. Not yet. There's more. A lot more. You'd be amazed what people say when they think you're just a calm, smiling wife. He didn't speak. He just stood there, staring at the folder like it might disappear if he blinked hard enough. I could see his mind working, trying to figure out if he should beg, deny, or yell. He went with denial, of course. I was going to end it, he mumbled. I laughed, short and cold. "You already did. You just didn't know it." He sat down, finally, like his legs gave out. "Are you leaving me?" "No," I said, and watched his face flash with relief. "You're leaving me. You just don't know it yet." I'd already signed the papers. I just hadn't served them. I wasn't leaving the house. That would make it easier for him to claim abandonment. My lawyer was smart. She warned me to hold the ground, gather evidence, and strike cleanly. I was doing exactly that. But then something happened I hadn't planned. Sasha showed up at my work. She waited in the lobby. My coworker came to my desk, whispered, "There's a woman here asking for you. Says it's personal." I walked out and saw her. She looked smaller in person, not as bold as I remembered from the photos. She held a folder in her hands. "I need to talk to you," she said. I didn't want to make a scene, so I led her outside. We walked to a bench a few blocks away. "What do you want?" She sat beside me, didn't speak at first. Then she opened the folder. Inside were photos. Of another woman. "That's not me," she said quietly. "That's not me with him at the hotel last Thursday." I stared at the photo. It wasn't Sasha. It wasn't me. It was someone else entirely. Blonde. Tall. A red coat I'd never seen before. Same hotel room he took me to once for our anniversary. She was shaking. "He told me he ended things with you. Then I found this." He told her the same thing. I felt like the world tilted. My anger had been focused. Sharp. Now it's split like glass. I took the photos and stood. "Thanks," I said. "You've been used. Just like me." She looked like she might cry. "I didn't mean to ruin anything. I didn't know." "I know," I said. "But he did. That's enough." When I got home that night, Mark was already there. He had dinner on the stove, music playing low. He looked up like everything was normal. "I thought we could talk," he said. "I want to fix this." I didn't even answer. I dropped the new set of photos on the counter. He froze. Then his face changed, not guilty. Angry. "You went through my stuff again?" he snapped. "No," I said. "Your other girlfriend did." He turned white. That night, he didn't sleep. Neither did I. I stayed up planning the next step. Sasha started forwarding more. She'd gone full scorched earth. Turned out she had recordings, messages, pictures. He'd told her I was abusive, that I kept him trapped. She believed him until now. The next morning, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. It was the blonde woman. Her name was Renee. "Mark told me you were dead," she wrote. That stopped me cold. Dead. He told her I was dead. I met with Renee at a coffee shop in Bellevue. She looked nervous, but she was also angry. She told me everything. He'd been seeing her for almost a year. Said I died in a car crash. Said he was still grieving. She found out the truth when she Googled me. Saw my LinkedIn profile. Saw that I was very much alive. "He's sick," she said. "You should press charges." I didn't know if I could. What law says you can't lie about your wife's death to your girlfriend? But I knew what I could do. So I started connecting the dots. Sasha, Renee, and me. We weren't the only ones. Another woman popped up in one of the photos on Sasha's phone. She thought nothing of it at the time. I recognized her instantly. Mark's old coworker, Claire. I reached out. She answered. "Yeah," she said. "We dated. Briefly. Before I found out he was married." "When was that?" She paused. "About 5 years ago. That was the year I miscarried. When he worked late every night. The rage that hit me then, nothing like before. It was heavy. It sat in my bones. I knew what I had to do. I contacted Renee and Sasha again. I told them I was filing for divorce and I wanted statements. They agreed. Claire too. I handed it all to my lawyer. She read through the files slowly, carefully. Then she looked up and said, "You're going to win everything." But winning wasn't enough. Mark still didn't know I had everything. He still walked around the house like he had a chance. Still texted Sasha at night, not knowing she was forwarding it all. So I started planning one last move. Something he wouldn't see coming. Not the end. Not even close. I waited until our anniversary. He forgot it, of course. No card. No flowers. Just a quick, "I'll be home late" text at 4:32 p.m. He was probably with her, whichever version of her was still falling for his lies. I made dinner anyway. Set the table. Lit candles. I wore the dress he always said he liked, even though it meant nothing now. When he came through the door at 9:17 p.m., he looked tired and annoyed. "What's all this?" he asked. I smiled. "Happy anniversary." He blinked. "Right, yeah. Happy anniversary." He sat down. Ate in silence. Asked no questions. Didn't care why I suddenly looked okay again. That was always his mistake. He never looked hard enough. After dinner, I poured us each a glass of wine. I didn't drink mine. Instead, I handed him an envelope. He opened it. Inside was a printed list of names. Sasha, Renee, Claire. 3 more I'd confirmed in the past week. I'd labeled them by date, place, and what lies he told each one. He looked up, confused. "What is this?" "That's your legacy," I said. And this, I pulled out the court documents, the screenshots, the affidavits, the notarized witness statements from every woman. "This is the reason you're going to lose the house, the car, and half your pension." His face twisted. "You can't do this." "I am doing this." He stood. "You've been planning this?" I didn't flinch. For months. He looked like he wanted to scream, throw something, hit something, but he didn't. Because he finally saw it. I wasn't afraid. I wasn't emotional. I was done. The next day, the papers were served. It hit him fast. He tried to fight it. Tried to claim I was unstable, that I went through his private things, that I manipulated the women. Didn't matter. The evidence was airtight. His lies were layered and stupid. The court saw it all. I got the house. I got the accounts. I got alimony. He got debt. He got exposed. Sasha posted the screenshots publicly. Renee tagged his employer. Claire sent the entire package to the HR department where he worked. He was fired in 3 days. Renee called me after. He called me crying, she said. Begged me to take him back. Said you ruined his life. I didn't ruin it, I replied. He did that all by himself. 2 months later, he moved out of state. I heard from a mutual friend that he was working construction under the table. His savings were frozen because of the court case. His car got repossessed. His reputation? Gone. As for me, I stayed in the house. Repainted the bedroom. Burned the sheets. Sold the couch she sat on. Sometimes I sit in the living room, sipping tea, thinking about the look on his face when I handed him the file. That was the moment he realized I'd been quiet, but not weak. That I smiled, not because I was okay, but because I was ready. Ready to end it. Ready to win. I didn't forgive him. I don't plan to. But I moved on. And now, when I go to the movies, I go alone. By choice,